So today I have a client. He is a second time client for me. He wants a fade, so we're gonna go right in and get started. I'm starting with the Andes T outliner right now to just create that line of demarcation. I am kind of outlining around the temple and below the occipital, and I'm just outlining it to create a nice and clean fade. At one point, I was very nervous about using the Andes T outliners to create a line of demarcation because I always felt like it was a little bit harsh. However, I have learned that you can really learn and find ways to manipulate the line in between to make sure that you don't still see the line. So there are ways to get it out. You can get a clean line by using Andes T outliners. I mean, it really is great. As you can see, I'm going around the perimeter of the head, and I'm just making sure that that line is as crisp as it can be. Now I am going in with my clippers against the grain open. I'm going open because I want that blend from bald to an actual, blend where visible hair is seen. I want it to be clean and I want it to be faint. So I'm using it with no guard. Now I'm either using a double or triple low to get this next line out. Usually I would use the triple low, which is the red universal guard. Not all barbers use that guard, so I totally understand if you don't know specifically what I'm talking about. But it's the second or third closest one for the universal guards. So here I am. I'm using my one open. I'm manipulating. I'm turning the clipper upside down. I'm turning it left, right. I mean, really, barbering is the art or the skill of almost playing around with the tools that you have. And really, that's any skill set. A photographer, the only thing that sets a photographer apart from another photographer or industry professional is the fact that they might know how to manipulate their camera in its settings better, or they might know how to do the trickery with lighting and whatnot. Like, this is not rocket science. This is just literally learning how to manipulate and how to play around with what you have, you know what I mean? And just really be creative. Like, that's what this is. So I just love to just watch the transformation happen because, it is, like, in other words, it's finesse. Like, the word for it is finesse. Like, learning how to manipulate, but for good, not evil. So right now, I'm just knocking off some hair, but I was kind of blending in between that line to make sure that that blend was nice and clean and clear. I didn't want it to look like it still had a line in it. I wanted it to look smooth from bald to, a dark length. And dark usually means like heavy. So you see how it just blends, it fades, and I'm cleaning up the top. He kind of wanted to keep it high. I'm really just knocking off loose hairs and kind of cleaning them up, just kind of putting them back in the game, keeping it consistent. Y'all, I got that consistent from Get Bean. Like, I love when he says that, and I literally think of that as I'm cutting, to keep it consistent. That's so true. I mean, that goes from starting the haircut off and making sure that you keep that clean line of consistency when you make that line of demarcation. And then, to a moment like right now where we're just knocking that hair off, keeping it clean, keeping it consistent. I mean, if you just stay consistent throughout a cut, your cut will always look really, really great. You have to trust yourself, trust the process, and just stay consistent. It's really easy. It really, really is. It's just the discipline that it takes to become consistent and become focused like that. So right now, like, when it comes to lineups, people always ask, oh, well, how do you even know, like, what to line up? And the way that I learned to do lineups was the idea of a house. So a house has to have foundation. It has to have windows. It has to have walls. So I build the walls first, and then I put the roof on the top. If you all kind of caught that. I'm a little late, but, and yes, happy client. Just cleaning them up still. And a little bit of oil sheen, and we are good to go. Thanks for watching, you all.